Justin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Beautiful Wreckage.
The first episode's title is Love at First Sight or Love at First Swipe.
And the reason why it's titled is because followers on our other platforms have asked us,
how did you guys meet? It'd be a great way to really introduce ourselves and let you guys know just a little bit more about who we are as a couple.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'm joking. We'll get how we are. Most people have gotten to go know us intimately over the last week, especially, yes, on on TikTok. But even more so over the last couple of years. So it's been really awesome. But now we're moving over to other platforms, and we told them that we would be starting a podcast. So yes, and if you're wondering about why we named ourselves Beautiful Wreckage instead of what our name is on the rest of our social media platforms, is because I was in the hospital recently, and I wrote a song about Rachel and I's relationship, and this is what I named the song. And so I figured most everyone who is on our platforms can relate to what
some portion of
our story. This would be the perfect name for it.
All right. Well, we're going to start off this episode. Dating over 30 awkward story. So let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Let's do it.
So funniest most story from subreddit Dating Over 30.
Like, I was 28 when she met me. Ooh, I told you. Let's go.
A fellow, if a bit awkward. At one point, he remarked that he had expected me to look classic, even though this was a very casual drink and he was wearing a neon orange denim jacket. Anyway, we parted ways, and when I got home, I found this really long message. It started with the phrase, "I get the sense I can be honest with you, so in the interest of being direct, let me just say." My first thought was that he was about to tell me that he wasn't interested in pursuing things further. But no, he went on to write that I seemed pleasant enough, but he wasn't sure he found me attractive or well suited to him. That's pretty typical for him. It takes him a while to get to know people, and that way he could know if they were interested. Therefore, he was proposing that we skip dating and enter into a serious relationship where we could spend several nights a week together. He felt confident that if we got right into it, we could assess if we actually liked each other once. Dang, I can relate to feeling attraction as a slow burn, but it takes time to develop. I really can. The idea of jumping straight into a serious relationship and spending most of our free time together in the hopes that we like each other eventually felt like a whole lot of pressure. I declined. Props to him for graciously accepting my answer.
What did you like about that Reddit story?
So I like the fact that he was honest with what he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted a relationship up front.
He was very honest. In the age of dating apps, Justin, did you get the different dating lies?
E-I-O-U.
In this episode, you're going to understand why we chose that Reddit post to start us out. But we're going to go ahead and go at first sight first. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about movies. Classic books and things. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet.
So, Justin, tell me about Romeo and Juliet.
The first lust.
Good way to say it. Yeah. So,
because our Romeo, and I will say this, and I'm pretty sure I'm going ahead, but our Romeo and Juliet was a little bit different. Yes, you and I read Romeo up in school. Yeah, you were told to read it at home too, right? No, in school. All of us read it growing up in school, but yeah. I grew up in the age of...
grew up in the age of movies
and television, and yeah, I didn't. That was, and you weren't. You're really, So yes, and so for me it was reading it and then Leonardo DiCaprio's movie. So it was kind of like at the same time. Did you
bite your thumb at me?
So I was watching. I was watching two different depictions of it.
Oh yeah, I think that was my favorite way to watch that movie. Actually, have the book in front of me and seeing how they use the lines and how they use the different imagery of it.
Yeah.
Because having the old muscle car, like the car that they drove up
that me
of the classic story. Yeah. But the quality of it. Was it really love?
For me, I love.
No, I'm talking about Romeo and Juliet. Okay. They really love each other. Was it actually loved each other? Or was it just rushed and fragile?
Well, in my opinion, if I can stand.
My opinion,
yeah,
they didn't take the time to build anything.
Oh, they built enough through that movie, though.
Stop.
What, man? When you heard that song?
Okay, but hold on, because you're going on to the music course different.
But that was
But the love story is what we're talking about.
the book when Mercutio died, I didn't care. But when you saw the movie,
So, in my opinion, I really felt that it was just such a fairy tale.
yeah.
It was such a tale because the only thing that they really had going, they were trying to go against their parents' wishes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all of us. When we were growing up, we were all like, okay, my parents said...
All right, first love.
Yeah, first love. My parents were like, it's not right now.
My
we were just
very
like,
first
yeah,
boyfriend-
no, that's not how it
My
works.
very first boyfriend was just a guy I talked to. Now, I was in high school already, so I know Justin Stubble.
Yeah.
And we kissed underneath the stairs. Like, that was our romance. Because I wasn't going to bring him home to my dad. Not to
Your dad.
happen.
Yeah, because your dad told me no.
I mean, it's just... Romeo and Juliet had.
Yeah, true.
It was not a love because
I was like, yeah, Justin, I
he
like
loved
you.
you as a person.
Yeah, he was, I
but-
love you. He was godfathering to me. He said, yeah, you know, I do love you, you know, as a person, but the answer is no. Saturday morning, jumped out of bed.
That's our love story, Romeo and Juliet. As you guys can see, he goes off on tangents. I apologize
Say woo-doo.
in the comments.
Woody woo.
Get him drawn back.
Not gonna work.
We keep trying, guys. Okay, so the Romeo and Juliet magic. It felt, it was just that, oh my gosh, I've never felt this before. But when in reality, if they time to build something, then there's a possibility that they had a love.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't their fault, though. Was it?
No, it was Shakespeare's fault.
Yeah, I mean,
Moving
let's be
on.
completely honest.
Okay, so let's go to the first love of your life.
Okay, don't do that. We're gonna make
And
me
we're
cry
going to
right
talk
now.
about Jack and Rose.
Oh no! Enough room on the.
Okay, so the relationship, our personalities
Yeah.
was Jack and Rose.
Was it pre-door or post-door? Answer the question.
We're talking pre-door.
Yeah, because if it was still up for debate, if it was post-door, she getting off the door.
Why say that, Justin? Why do I?
Because it was bliss, there was fantasy, there was hope, there was
Creative.
He was fun. He was an artist.
What was?
In a life of
She was stuck in a-
trapped.
she was
in a
someone
love
else-
relationship, and it was his way or nothing else. He had everything, and she was going to be stuck in a marriage. And Jack was everything that she wanted. It was passion, was what I said the other day. A passion that she was longing for.
Okay, so if we go off of, excuse my notes, guys. I don't remember things well, so I have a lot of notes written down. Justin does a lot better with this. So pardon and Rose, all right?
Which is a gaming computer, by the way, if you want to.
Leave my computer alone. All right, so there's an immediate attraction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, correct. So
Immediate.
why does that chemistry matter going on?
The fact that you can see how it pulls her away from the world that she lives in. That above. First, what is that? I'm trying to say this.
You're talking about the first class versus
working class. They're living life in the moment.
100%.
Not for the future, but in the moment, because they don't know if the future is. You know what I mean? So they're living for today. And so the best analogy I can put for that, in movie wise, now is The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman. Everything right now, the musical. When you whether you just the analogy I could put for that right
So
now.
what would you say the reality of like Jack and Rose? What would you talk
The reality for me is that she tricked Jack. She got him. She hopped him up on a future, same thing that she was hopped up on. A promise for tomorrow, and then pushed him off the door. Oh no, Jack! There's not enough room on the door, Jack.
In my opinion, the reality is the society strengths that they were trying to break, that they were trying to work around. They were trying to find a way for them to be together when everything in her world and in his world were saying it wasn't going to work.
Yes.
Constantly there was struggle. And I mean, if you stop and think about it, it really wasn't just on her side of it that there was issues.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Jack would not have been able to afford a living for them and in the area that were. But if you think about it, if they were able to travel to another area in the world,
do you think
they may
if
have
the
been able to
iceberg
afford it.
door hadn't have happened, that they might have been able to work out.
A very interesting individual, I'm not going to was watching for her at the, and so you can see that would have turned out to be a volatile situation.
Okay, I'm talking about just Jack and Rose.
Oh, Jack and Rose?
Don't worry about anyone else.
Okay, yes, I think that anyone
say that they were able to get to the destination, a new ship, and start over somewhere else. Just them.
If you put that kind of passion that you have in someone into building a life with that same person, yes, anything is possible.
Do you see why I feel like we are more Jack and Rose than other?
Share the door, except I'm 6'5", so no!
But here's the thing, could we not have, with the door, could we not have traded places? And
yes, I could have tread water and then you could have tread water, but that's the difference. It's about keeping your head above water.
Exactly. And so, I mean, I've always had an issue with that portion of the movie, but if we're just talking about... if we just talk about the characters, if we just talk about not the circumstances that the movie was put into.
Okay.
But if we just talk about the characters, I really do see that...
You're on the boat, so no, we're not Jack and Rose, first of all. And second of all,
I'm getting him on a cruise.
I've never been on a cruise. You're not catching me on the boat.
No, I'm just saying personality. I could see you as a Jack. I could see you as someone who would find a cute little girl and be like, let me paint you like the French girls.
Yes, I would. Get me on the boat, 1, 2, 3, not it.
Okay, well, let's move on away from Jack and Rose.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Before You Met Me.
Before I met you. Before I let go.
Before you met me. You know, we should probably pause. How did we meet?
How did we? We never. How did we meet?
Yeah,
so we were a love at first swipe.
Second swipe?
Yeah, second and third.
So, do you want to tell the story or do you want...
You tell it way better than I do because I'm aggressive.
So, we met dating app, Plenty of Fish. Okay, so I joined the dating app as a joke just because my girlfriend and I were completely bored one night when we were sitting there eating a chocolate on there as a joke, and immediately helped me. Our inbox flooded immediately with unsolicited pictures, with phone numbers, with inappropriate comments. And so we just, kept deleting everything that came through until finally we started getting actual messages, and someone sent me a message.
And I joined as a nope. To be honest. I just I issue outside in real it's just another thing to join, just like any other social media platform. So let me just hop on here. So yeah. And I was getting out of a relationship, and I was just like, and I had just finished graduating college, and I was like, well, why not? So I
mean, it was kind of a thing to do for
people. I said singles my age. So
I was a divorcee mother of 3, and so our circumstances were different.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking to date.
And I was in the party lifestyle, so.
I wasn't looking to date, but the difference is, even though I wasn't looking to date, I was determined the only thing I was going to do is serious dating if I was going to talk to someone, because I had 3 young kids.
Listen to what she said. I was only going to do dating, and I was not going to do serious.
On my profile, it said that I was looking for... I wasn't going to lie.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but a lot of individuals put and never meant that. And I will explain why because we did meet up eventually, but I did hit. What did I say to you when I met?
You asked me out for dinner.
I asked you, no, before that.
You asked me out for dinner first, and I said I wasn't interested, and I asked you what you were looking for.
There it is.
And
I can't say friendly, eventually thing, but this is the first episode, so I said exactly what I was looking for because I was nothing serious. Unlike most people, I actually read.
I wasn't offended. I wasn't bothered, and I had the thought in my head. Well, we're on Plenty of Fish, so obviously there's plenty of fish.
Yeah. The people in her profile, I did not send her anything.
Oh, but you did block me.
Yeah, I did block her immediately. But we had a conversation before I blocked her. What happened?
And well, it wasn't any reason for us to meet up. Like it wasn't gonna do anything because I wasn't planning on doing what he was looking for, and he had no interest in further.
Yeah, because I was too be or pushy or
you didn't want to string me along.
Yeah,
I told you. I mean, I've always been really honest about the fact that I have kids. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to anyone about that because I come with
I wasn't gonna
baggage.
And I wasn't going to do that to somebody who was an adult, who a whole, meeting about to happen. So I just was like, all right, listen, you have higher you know,
You have your world
going on. You have
blocks me.
So I was like, yeah, it makes more sense for me not to ruin this.
Profile circle go from like his handsome looking face to just like gray.
Fish talking. Bam.
And I'm gonna say again, it really didn't bother because I honestly wasn't looking for something. But a couple weeks later, I'm going through and I'm like, okay, I had a really bad day at work. Really bad day at work. My girlfriends all were going out with their significant others. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go through some of the guys I've talked to and see if anyone wants to go and meet up for drinks. And lo and behold, he wasn't gray anymore. So I sent him a message and I said, hey, would you like to go get drinks? And your response was?
No, go ahead. Tell me what my response was.
No. We had the finances for it. I paid my rent. I paid my bills. And I went on a date. I don't have the money to do that.
Say that one more time. Say the last part. And I went on a date. I don't have the finances to do that. Not talking about with her. I went on a date recently.
And my response was, did I ask for you to pay for anything?
And I was like, let me get back to you. Because I've never in my life heard a response like that. Never in my life had a response like that. So,
look, I had a good paying, had my bills all taken care of. My kids were at their father's for the weekend. I just wanted to go and sit across from someone and have some drinks because it gets bad as a single mom when you have no one, and all of my people were busy. So I'm like, and so I get a message. My boy is wondering.
No, you gotta say it just like me. Go ahead. Yeah, my boy wants to know if he can go on the date with us. Because he knows somebody down there, too.
Not expecting it to be a date.
And I was expecting for this to be a deal breaker.
I don't let him come.
And I was like, let me get back to you.
No. Bet I'll get back to you.
Yeah, bet I'll get back to you.
Now, this is all through the message.
Bro, I don't know. Because I thought this was going to be a deal breaker. He's like, you got to call her. I'm like, can I get your phone number real quick? And we call each other. And she's like, listen, she explains to me the situation. Because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm about to get scammed or something. Like, this has to be a joke. Because I've already blocked her. I already told her I went on a date. I paid my bills. I've done everything to say I'm not interested at this point because I don't want to mess up what you have going on over here. I don't want to be that guy that comes in. I told you what I'm interested in. Like, we're not on the same page. I'm not going to be that person that comes into your life and be like, hey, this is what I want. And you want a full-blown relationship. We're not going to be on the same page at all. Mm-hmm. And she says, I didn't ask any of that. Let's just go get drinks. And he can come. And he can go on his own date. Boy, when he said, we don't got a choice. Let's go. And she said, all right, I'll see you in a few. We
did across the water to me.
Yes.
Regulation was that you have to come here. Because if I'm going to be getting drinks, I'm going to be someone I know can come to me safely, if I need to.
Yeah, safety.
So that one rule, since I wasn't trying to date.
You gotta say, Irie, extremely. I guess that's what made all the difference. I was respectful the entire time.
The whole entire time.
And that was probably unexpected.
I mean, I'm saying, even though I was where I was, which is not the best town for dating, I was respectful.
Bad news.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to 100%. Bad news. If you know what that means, shout out to Bad News. I was not in Bad News. I was in Norfolk. So shout out to.
So we met up and ended up talking for, oh my goodness, we met at Applebee's because I was like, you know what, if we're gonna do drinks, we may as well go ahead and have dinner so that we're not getting sloppy. And well, you literally told me that you had just gotten out of college. I'm not stupid. Yeah. Like he just bet if then he probably.
I'm a drinker. Oh.
I mean, I put two and two together, I guess we'll say. So, we went, had dinner, got 3 hours sitting there talking.
Yeah, we were talking. Oh
my gosh. When I tell you that I
was on 2 dates.
Completely in the first 30 minutes. I don't want to call it a date, but I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, it was a date.
It ended up being a date.
We were going, first in my, I didn't know she was going to look exactly like her profile. I was going to look exactly like my profile picture. So it was a shock. Like, it was a love at first swipe thing, but it wasn't. Swipe. But it wasn't a love thing because we didn't fall in love with each other like what we look like in the photos. So we were in shock when we saw each other. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't expect people to lie, and so it didn't really shock me. Apparently, he's used to females who do a whole face of makeup and change their hair and put you get.
Yeah, a lot of people see us in
the stores.
In the stores, and they're like, "Oh my gosh."
You look exactly like you did.
And we're like, yeah, it's changed.
We end up on this date. We're talking, and it's been, like I said, 3 hours. They're trying to kick us out of Applebee's. And Justin says, hey, we're going to a party. Do you want to come? And I'm seriously like, why would I go to a party? Because I've never been to a college party before, ever, my whole life. So the first college party I went to, I ended up not meeting a single person who hosted the party. None of them would talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because me and her were making out like 100% of the time. So it was pretty, like, yeah, it was pretty interesting. But we almost left his little brother there. Because we didn't leave him there.
But he had a ride. He had a ride from someone else. I promise we didn't leave him stranded. But yeah, so that's how we first met. And after we're together all day after that until you left for the Army.
Yeah. So that was
Forced proximity?
Yeah, forced proximity.
So, okay. So that's how we met, right? So now we're talking about
we've been together for 12 years for those who are going to ask. For 12.
We're old now, which we're enjoying growing old together.
Mm-hmm. And most people will be like you're in our 40s now.
All right, so before you met me, did you ever have a love at first sight?
So we're going to roll that in here again?
Oh, I'm rolling it right in.
I've had love at first sight. Only one in my entire life.
I want to ask you a question.
And you're going to ask me a question. Okay, go ahead.
Do you still kind of love her?
Yeah,
you for her.
I will always have love for her. Only that one. And since she likes to throw me in this, what do you think about her? We all know what her name is. I've always unique name in the world. Both her first and last name is German, right? So
I didn't think you wanted to talk like.
No, we're not. Once again, we're not going to say anything about Air Force. But what do you think about this person? We've been together for 12 years.
Much about the person, met them in person.
About the stories I've told you about the person.
Any type of way about the fact that you still have love for her. I'm not hurt by it. It doesn't make me feel less of your wife. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make as a spouse, any of that. I don't feel less than because of it.
Yeah. Why?
Now, because, number one, you were a different person when you fell in love with her. Mm-hmm. When you fell in love with me, we're not who you were then. Mm-hmm. And so there were circumstances that happened before you met her and after you met her that caused the love as strong as it is. And then there's some things that happened around me that caused the love that you have for me to be as strong. Mm-hmm. And so while it's not a circumstantial love, there are things that have happened that have caused the love to grow, change, evolve on both people.
Which is what marriage is about. Life is about evolution.
This sounds absolutely terrible, but after having been married to you for 12 years now, I don't believe I ever actually loved my first husband. Not in true love way. I cared about him. I loved that he gave me the family that we had. Yeah. But I can't say that I ever truly loved him the way that I've learned that love is. I think it was more of a commercialized love. I think it was the love that everyone expects you to have.
Yeah, of course.
Not when I'm asking you these questions, it's more of I don't love at first sight. I didn't experience, I had a lot of bad experiences with you actually sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I had my ex-husband, and I had some really awful, terrible experiences.
But then you got to ask her, how do you date? And it's not a giant pool at all.
No.
And so that's what makes it so funny to me, because I know
every experience I had actually built to the trauma of love for me.
Of love. Somebody write that down. The trauma of.
Think about it. I had trauma of love from my childhood growing up. I had trauma of love from my first boyfriends. Mm-hmm. I had trauma of love from being married to someone who are very tumultuous. It was very volatile. It was very sides. I'm not trying to say that I was not at fault for some of it. Yeah. Trauma.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're honest people.
Trauma from love with my children. Yeah. And so it's not.
Everybody has trauma within love.
It's not spoke about. Yeah. To what their true love is, because I had to learn to love myself.
I don't know what we're talking about. You have to go learn her, we call it her origin story in the beginning of our relationship. And so there's a whole bunch that was weaved into. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So answering her, still have love for the first person. And then when we talk about love at first sight and love at first swipe, Rachel was my first swipe that I ended up with for 12 years now. This is the longest relationship that I've ever been with.
This is officially my longest relationship.
Yeah, this is my longest relationship ever. And I had to learn how to mature in a relationship, grow in this relationship, speak to the individual I'm with on a daily basis, and work toward a goal and every single morning, every single evening. And I had to learn how to argue with myself and with this individual in a positive way. And communicate.
Yes,
there it is. Communicate. Not argue, but communicate with this individual. Argue for a better person. You know what I mean? Not just argue at the end. That's something that I really had to do. Because I came from mama of, okay, arguing, you know, is as far as the person that I had love for, that person just walking by the street with a friend of mine was out when I was in high school, and it was love at first sight. And that just changed my life.
And now, say something really quick, because you still check up on her every once in a while through social media.
Not anymore, no.
Well, through our marriage, you did, though.
Yeah, we talked to each other,
It was never see how she's doing so I can go with her. It was never.
No, never.
It was never I want to see how she's doing because I want to compare.
No, it was, I'm so proud of this.
It was see that she's doing great.
Yeah.
I want to see that she's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
Which is one conversation that you and I have about my ex-husband. Because we're glad that he is doing as well as he's doing, and that he and his wife are doing good. Those are conversations that we have, because this is still the father of my children. Whether I like him as a person, whether I was in love with him, fact. And make sure that that's said, that it's not a one-sided. It's not a just you, your ex, in this way. And it's not in a way that you were like, go.
It's definitely one of those things. I wish good for as many people as possible. You know what I mean? Because I know that I wasn't always the best for anyone. You know what I mean? So I want
never the best for some.
And I was never the best for some. And I will say this. There were some things that happened in my life that turned me into a person that wasn't the greatest. So I needed to push people away in order to become the person I am.
Where you allowed some of the things that happened to turn you into someone who was not good for people until you learned. Because when you've gone through some of the training that you have now, you've learned different things, and you've learned different love languages. You've learned different communication styles was important. And active listening. And
I think that was the most thing for me. And it's another thing, you know, that's why I'm like, I like this name right here. Learning active listening was the most important for me.
Yeah.
I had never learned how to know, but learning how to actively listen so that I could be there within whatever's going on with them and not make it about myself. That was interesting to me. So, yeah.
So we've talked about that. Let's switch it up a little bit and let's talk about the modern era.
Yeah.
Now, we currently have friends, their lives, and move to other countries for the people that they love.
That we have.
And so the fact of the matter is, with dating apps, with digital dating, you don't have to have the pool of just the people who are right next to you anymore. Like when I was in high school, I didn't have a cell phone. And so I didn't have the opportunity to on a dating app during high school.
No.
That wasn't an option. I didn't have social media when I was in high school. And so my friend base, my looking base was very, very small.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. All right. So let's talk about the different dating, online dating. All right. So we've already talked about this a little bit. The profile paradox. All right. The disconnect between what a person actually looks like project on social media. How do you feel about that? Because you don't alter any of your images.
No. Why? For what?
When I was actively looking to date during the 2 weeks that he and I stopped talking, I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. Actively looking, I never once filtered myself, because if someone falls in love with me, they're going to see me without makeup. So they need to be able to stick around.
Yeah. You know what? What's interesting is I'm not going to alter my personality. None of that. The way I will alter only one thing about me. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why? Because who I am is going to be who I am no matter what. Because if I step into a room, I honestly cannot hide in the corner. I could try. I could hide behind a curtain. You'll see my feet.
Now, with that, okay, we talked about the images, but what people who say one thing but mean another.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Like, I actually had this one guy who was on Plenty of Fish, because that's the only app I was on. And his profile had a picture of him and a dog. And so we started talking about animals because I had a dog.
What was it?
No, he didn't like animals.
He just put that on there because he wanted more people to see him as a softer individual.
And so
It's really him metaphorically saying, "Hey, I want your attention." I really
Was
just
in how he's presenting himself?
I would consider that a lie. We're not gonna make it seem more intelligent than what it is. I know he is meant.
All right,
That's
so
what it is. What? No. If I have a dog, I have a dog. I like dogs. If I have a cat, I have a cat. I like cats. But I'm not gonna be like, hey, do you want to pet this dog that I just got from the vet? No, it's somebody else's dog. I'm gonna put it back after this photo. What are you doing
let's
here?
move on to the
No, we're not
bio.
moving on from that. What was that about?
Ask him. I just stopped talking
What?
to
You
him.
actually go see him with no dog?
No, it was a conversation on like online.
He was like, yeah, I don't really like dogs.
yeah,
He
because
really said that?
Yes.
Oh no, absolutely not, bro.
talk about the bios.
Okay.
What did you put in your bio when you were on?
I'm here for fun, something like that. Yeah,
was
I'm here for
generally-
fun, nothing
and
else.
Like I said, that I was looking for.
Let me say this. I did say I am here for fun. It could turn into a serious relationship, something like that, or I'm here for a serious relationship, or I'm here for also for fun if I or something like that. But I always put I am looking for something, but I am not.
I think that it said something along the lines of that you weren't actively searching.
There it is.
I think it's absolutely hilarious because look what happened.
Yeah, and it's the truth. What would be the point?
Did you struggle with how you posted it on your bio?
Well, look what just happened. I rewrote it like 65 times just now in front of you. Yes, because I'm a, but I'm not about to mislead a nation, a continent,
World?
a world full
World
of
Wide Web?
individuals, people who see this. You know
Let's
what I
not
mean?
do-
People who see this because of the fact that if I'm communicating with these individuals, they're going to ask me, well, what did you really mean by that? And I'm going to have to own up to, okay, well, to be honest, this is what I'm looking for. Then why'd you put this? Well,
So, I mean, I never really fretted about my bio because my thing with it was that this one sentence is not going to what someone is like, oh my gosh, I want to be with her because of that one sentence that she wrote down.
but you're not a guy.
You're right, I'm not, but I'm just saying a lot of females do that where they'll use like a cryptic, like all emojis, or they'll try and do something to be fluent in sarcasm. Or I'm saying I never did that because like, I wanted people to get to know me. Like in my profile, it was very simple. I have 3 looking for something serious.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. You guys, you individuals hold all the cards. Okay, you hold all the cards, and you know it. You individuals.
I think this is the wrong for this podcast.
Just saying. I'm saying.
That's
and,
going to be a whole
no.
other
Let me hold the cards. Oh yeah. Well, nah. I'm not a simp. I'm not da. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You're not. Let's talk about it then. Let's really talk about it. We don't have to chase anything. We don't. I didn't. I blocked you. I literally blocked you. So let's be 100 about it. I blocked you. You hit me back up. So this is not a conversation where we're talking about who is chasing who.
No.
This is, you all do still hold the cards though. If we want a relationship with somebody, we have to say openly, this is what I want.
Now, did I give you an out multiple times?
Yes, you gave me an out multiple. Just talking about the profile. And if a male, I'm just after, and if it's in there, well, here the male has to distinguish. Okay, well, what does that emoji mean? But if a male puts in there, I'm just after this, a female can just be like, yeah, I'm that, and his pool shrinks that much more. So yes, we do have to, like you said, fret over creative.
Okay.
So
well,
that dog photo, he knew what he was doing.
He did.
He had to be manipulated. I didn't need to. I didn't want to. I didn't need to. I wanted to be genuine. You will, unlike high school
what
me
you just-
before.
you just said is what people hear.
Yeah.
You just wanted to be genuine.
Yeah, I mean,
And so here's what I'm trying to say. That was my take on it. That was your take on it.
but let's be honest. Not everyone.
But not everyone is.
Not everyone is genuine. But let's be honest. I'm genuine. I'm not gonna
I don't
sit here and
think either
pretend
of them.
everyone's genuine to a fault because not everyone is omnipotent.
Everyone
but,
has told a lie, whether on
Yeah.
purpose or on accident.
Yeah. So let's not pretend like we all are omnipotent. No, it's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna be 100 with you. Like I am genuine to a point like where I'm gonna say, hey, I want so searching for. I am willing to bend a little bit. You know what I mean? I am willing to try something. That's what mine was basically about. And it didn't have to be based on looks, emotion. My profile wasn't emotion. None of that. Don't have to do all this dramatic, in your profile.
So let me ask you a question. All right, so we met on a dating app, and then we met in person. We didn't spend time.
What?
We matched. We unmatched. We matched again, pretty much, and then we went on it. So you know what? My brain just completely turned off. Let's try that one more time. Wow.
Rachel has functional neurological disorder. If you're just joining us and you know nothing about us, Rachel has functional neurological disorder. So you'll need to look that up if you want to find out her origin story, how she got it. Go type in Rachel Poole functional neurological disorder.
Talking about the dating age. We're talking about talking on the app.
Yes.
But a lot of times that's what ends up happening, correct?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you will be talking to someone for a while, trying to get to know them. A little bit of both. Love it.
First block.
Well, I'm just saying because we didn't spend time getting to know each other on the dating app.
No.
And so what we ended up doing was we ended up spending that time to see if it worked. Mm-hmm. Once you realized that I had kids and you did realize that this is someone I could see myself spending more time with, then we put the time in, we put the work in, right?
So what was the thing that I said to you when I saw you in person after the first night? Because the first night you said, yeah, nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
All right, cool. Bet. Because no one had ever.
You also told me that you probably wouldn't come back.
And I said, watch this. And I showed up when?
The very next day.
And I said, yeah. And so that didn't happen again. So I'm telling you right now. And then following after that, I was like, I need to say something to you. You got kids. I'm not playing games with you. If we're going to be serious, then I need to take you seriously. So if we're going to be talking, then or hanging out, or even messing around, you need to be seriously something you might want to pursue. Then we need to talk about it. Right? I just brought her lunch on my lunch break. But if not, then I need to disappear.
It was absolutely hilarious because you brought me lunch. I was at work. But I worked at the same place where I lived. Mm-hmm. And I let him know, well, if you don't want to meet the kids, you need to leave now because they're about to walk off the bus.
And I didn't know that.
I didn't know that you were going to show up, so I couldn't tell you.
There ain't no escape now. So it is what it is, I guess.
Walked in and stopped, looked at me, looked at you, saw how we were casually sitting, and said,
Who's this? I'm like... They call me. No, I'm joking. You thought I was going to act out.
You always do. So,
I'm the new guy.
Our cute meet, whatever you call it. Meet cute. I don't know what
Meet cute is what it's usually called.
Whatever it is, it's not normal. It's not, it's a dating app story. It's not, I don't think anything that we've done in any of them is anything normal.
Nah.
Let's go on and talk about a little bit the mismatches, because technically you and I had mismatched first, right?
Yeah.
And so honest, where I had 3 kids, I was not going to bring someone into my life, therefore bringing him in without the possibility of it going somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'll let you know when we figure it out. So I don't think we figured it out. So let's see a ring.
I don't wear rings. And then people were that was a whole discussion on our live the other night, wasn't it?
There was a couple military guys who didn't.
Some were wanted to know why. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And since I was prior military, a lot asked, and it depends on your profession within the military sometimes.
But it also depends on personal.
Yeah.
I mean, there are women who, like, it took me years to be able to wear a wedding ring.
Yeah, it did.
Because when I was married the first time, the jewelry that I had, which was solid gold, but it gave me a rash to where it scarred my finger.
Yeah.
And so for the very small platinum band that you bought me.
So
the only one.
You brought me I have championship rings. I have
silicone rings.
I have all this. I have all these
platinum.
So many. Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't wear any.
Yeah, and I don't wear any. Yeah, so it's not just a wedding ring that I don't wear. I just don't wear.
And the only reason why you wear a watch now is because
that was
it connects to my watch and my phone, so that if he gets information.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I wear a watch. And you don't know how tough it was for her to get me to change over to iPhones again.
Yep.
And then it was specifically to get the watch. And that was a long, drawn out conversation.
Okay.
That was a no.
So let's move on a little bit and talk about digital dating.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the pajama phenomenon?
Yes. When I get to go back to bed at night.
No.
No. That's not it?
No.
All right.
Let's try again.
When you are dating, with the top half all done up and the bottom pajamas from home.
After COVID, Zoom dates, digital dates, however you want to call them, became a lot more popular, right?
Yeah.
And just like with work meetings, people started posting a video or them in front of their computer, completely dolled up from the top, in the most comfortable sweatpants, sleep shorts, didn't match. Now it's not the same. It's not to find the whole outfit. You don't have to find the shoes to match every time.
From the waist up. Kind of like what I want.
Just no.
Just no.
Just no. So let's talk about the algorithm of love. AI is a big thing now, right?
Yeah.
So you and I were matched.
Body, tall, dark, and handsome.
No. What I said. This is what I got.
I do not know why.
I don't either,
I didn't
honestly.
ask for you.
Lord knows I didn't ask for you.
Yeah, I didn't ask for this.
I prayed for it not to happen.
Why do you think we were matched up?
I honestly, I don't understand AI algorithm. I don't understand it, but I don't know. It makes sense when so close to the different military bases. Why?
Yeah, no, because I asked, mine was like 500 miles or something like that. Yeah, because I was willing to drive to Africa.
Look.
Now you heard me drive to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And so I don't know why I ended up getting matched.
Yeah, no, and you know what? You were one of like
talking no. About the Google background the Google background check era. I did not Google you.
No, you should not have.
So what would I have found on social media if I would have Googled you?
So it probably would have been like an angel next to the star.
If you would have Googled me and my Facebook popped up,
yeah,
you would have seen me and my 3 kids and our dog.
And the dog.
And that's it.
And a well.
And you would have seen, you would have seen me with Jamie and Ronnie and the girls. We went out.
Beautiful pictures and
it was never anything wild.
Yeah, and if you had Googled me,
what would I have found?
Everything.
If I would have Googled you first.
Nobody would have talked to me if they Googled me first.
So do you think that
I don't know, man. If people Google me, I don't know the difference.
the background check has ruined people's chances or second chances?
No, not. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think more interesting. Oh, this person lives life to the fullest. That's what I think. Googles have all these wonderful pictures nowadays. You think, oh, 2 things. Oh, that is a safe goodness they have photos up. That's what I think. Or oh, that is a person that enjoys traveling, trying new things. Now, because what are you gonna see? Photos of them like tossing cars off a cliff? I mean, let's be honest. Because I am so. I did think to myself, that's probably it'd be an old car with no gas. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is there that has not been done? Now, you wouldn't see anything super negative.
I guess in my opinion,
the only thing that would stop it is if they had a record. That's the only thing that I could see.
Here's the thing for me. You had an ex. Well, I'm saying when you and I got together, you had an ex.
Okay.
And there was communication from that person.
Yeah.
But the difference is you told me.
Before.
There was no secrets. It wasn't a hidden. And so I didn't need to do a background check to find out. I think it was the 3rd, 4th time we'd gotten together that this situation had happened. This is where we are at now. This is what's going on with it. Mm-hmm. There was no secrets for me to find.
I'm laughing, but yes, I was previously engaged. I broke off an engagement.
Right.
And there was a good reason. I loved this individual, but I broke off the engagement, of course. And so, and it's no big deal. But I had an ex, communicated with you, and I could have gotten back with this person. No, I don't know. But me and you were together. They reached out to you. There was no big deal because I had already spoken with
like that. The honesty and made it to where it didn't matter as much. I mean, yeah, it bothered me. I got a phone call, but I very politely handed you a phone and said that you had gotten a phone call. It is what it is. It wasn't oh my gosh, I can't believe this. It was just, okay, this happened. All right, it's done. We'll move on.
No, it's not that I haven't checked out on that ex before. They've checked up on me since what's happened. I've checked up on them. I don't need to be a negative person in this life anymore. That's one thing that What is the purpose at this point? Let's all just be.
I think that the fact that you're saying I had happened in the past, this is what my most recent situation was about it, really enabled me to is continue, or is this a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Love at first sight, love at first swipe. I think that, and this all goes into the whole relationship and how to make it work once you get past it.
All right. The last bit that we're going to do here is we're going to give you some scenarios, and you're going to tell me, so is it a real sight?
It's real. It's real.
Is it not possible that happened, or is it just so out of this world that there's no possibility at all? Okay?
Yeah.
So, coffee shop classic. So the guy who's running late for a client presentation, his laptop's dying. The Wi-Fi is doing the thing where it connects, but it won't work. I don't know how. And he's trying not to have a meltdown. All right. So the barista notices him, always refreshing, frantic, She says, okay, well, how about this? Let me make you a drink and you can use my hotspot, giving him the ability to do his job. So while talking during the breaks, they realize they're reading the same book. They continue tile, and now he comes in all the time. How realistic is this in today's dating sphere?
I think it's very possible. And I think when I was talking to you about it, I related it to Cisco and Hawkgirl from Flash, The Good Flash.
The Only Flash.
The Only Flash. The Only Flash that's from Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, if you know anything about that, Mr. Gunderson. So I said that's very possible.
Okay, we're going to go for online. The bio that actually makes. His dating profile just says, "Look, explain why I've become a serial. My succulent restraining orders." She's a botanist. Point presentation on succulent care. Complete. They start exchanging daily photos of their plants, documenting the plant progress so that she can give feedback. First date is a plant shop where she helps him pick out impossible cacti. After rejected bachelor contestants.
Heck yeah!
A year later, they've now turned it into an urban jungle and not a single plant has died.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. When me and you first got together, you liked getting cacti. The difference is we couldn't kill but we could hurt the children and cats and dogs.
Look, it's person decides to
grab. That doesn't make it. It does not compute. It does not compute why they want to do that. But yes, I don't see a problem with them. We're like love cacti. So this is.
Let me ask a question really fast. Have you ever had a date to a plant?
Yes. I had a guy's date. Me and my best friend.
And don't you. The female who in it asked if they were on a date.
Yes, I'm not dying. I'm not lying. She asked if me and him were on a date. Because we were just sitting there, we looked like we were a couple because we were just sitting there like
huddled together,
seeing the plants. He loves bonsai. He took me. He was like, "Hey man, do you want to go to see this bonsai? Get a bonsai tree?" I was like, "Yeah, man. I've never been to go get a bonsai tree." He's like, "Compute to me that he was going to take me to a cotton field."
He didn't take you to the
He took me to a
cotton
cotton.
field.
He took me to a cotton field, Rachel.
And the phone call got. But anyway, talking about if one of the would that be a good first date?
It is. That was the most fun guys trip I ever went on in my life. We had so much fun. The woman was amazing. The owner was a guy who had this whole cotton field, which of this thing to wear, right? Isn't it cotton is like the safest thing?
Natural. One of the most.
One of the most safest things. So it was a thing for us. We enjoyed it. So we went past the cotton field because we thought we got lost, and we're like, no, this is where Waze told us to go. And we go in there, and I'm like, I think we're supposed to we get there. Oh my gosh, she owned like this whole, lived on it, on the farm. They owned this whole thing where she's been doing this for years. And it's like this over there in Suffolk, Virginia. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Trees, and they were some small, some big. Amazing. If you have the opportunity to buy bonsai trees, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was so took me.
All right. So we agree that it can happen both in person and ours happen both online and in person technically. Being just online, would you and I would we have started dating? If we wouldn't have, I don't think that we would have continued speaking. Which do you think is more realistic?
Online. I would say online is more realistic today. If you're talking about from the scenarios.
No, I'm talking about kind of in general right now.
Love at first swipe.
Yeah.
Of course, I would say love at first swipe because for me personally, if I go from, and I say we're both from different generations because you know that God gave y'all bricks and like for us we like did social media. So like,
that while he was in basic training, he wrote me letters every single day.
we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice.
You didn't have to write the letter. You did have a choice. It's a little bit different. You
Yeah,
had
it was
choice.
funny. Oh, she sent you a photo. Look at yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. I give a shout out to my drill sergeants. They were hilarious. Anyways, to be honest, like if you have the capacity, you don't have to date within proximity anymore. That's what I think is the most amazing thing about now. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to date here and just in your state, your province, your country. Yeah, amazing thing. So I think love at first swipe is the most amazing thing. If you had the finances to date from anywhere.
Now, I want to ask a question. You've had love at first sight. You've had love at first swipe. But you're also what do you as a man need to have before you
start dating? House, car, job. House, car, job.
Now,
savings account.
What do you expect your daughters to have?
Hold on. Investments.
What do you expect your daughters to have before they start dating?
House, car, bank account, savings account, investments.
Do you think it's important? As a girl dad, why do you think you have these?
Because if you want to be equal to the person or greater that you're dating and you expect for them to have those things, don't ask for them to have those things if you don't have them yourself. If something, when I went 3 years and you could not provide, thankful that I was retired so that we still had finances coming in.
Now, with that being said, when we first started dating, you did stop before you went to the military because I was able to cover all of our bills.
Exactly.
And so it's not one or the other. It's got to be a both, right?
In my opinion, it's not a. It's got to be.
Well,
it would be
works better.
It would be both parties on a mental health standpoint. And this is I'm coming from a mental health standpoint because that's what I work for.
Yeah.
You know, mental health standpoint. Especially you for your children. Plan on having. If you both are participating as one.
Do your children fight?
Not at all. My children are doing this.
Your children don't argue about this?
Oh, about what? Which part?
About to start dating?
Oh! About the standpoint of both, all of them should have all these things before they should start dating.
Well,
no, they fight me what they should have before they get married.
That I wasn't saying before
that
married.
Was, okay, so before they start dating, yes, they fight me about when they should start dating. They want to states. Too young in my opinion because I started dating way too young. I was like 8 years old, 9 years old when I had my first kiss. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to lie to people on what I do.
I was 15.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to lie. So, but I'm going to be, I tell them, listen, you're allowed to have acquaintances. So don't call them anything other than, when you are brave,
have your things together,
and they better have their things together. I will approve of anyone who you bring in front of me when both of y'all have those things together. They don't question me on that because you've seen me struggle, and you've seen what your mom has gone through. Someone else did something to her. So, yeah.
All right, so we'll talk.
Tangent. Woo, 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 woo.
What we really want from you guys is tell us your love story, your significant other, your ex. Tell us the funny stories. Tell us the horrifying stories.
Tell me the most horrific, funny thing you have ever dealt with.
Because I personally love our story. I love how we met. I love the way that we did it because it's very unique to us.
No.
You don't like it?
No, there was no ice cream involved. You didn't let me get dessert.
Told me you were lactose intolerant.
Let
us know because we want to make sure that this community is something that you guys make sure on the other platforms.
And what are they, Rachel?
On IG, we are FND. They are JD-life.with.f and YouTube we are the space pool_family.
What was it again? Because people say they can't find us sometimes.
The pool POOLE_family. And as soon as we have this link up, we're going to be posting so that you guys can find where to find well. We're really glad you guys stuck around. Can't wait for the next episode. We are going to be talking about who said I was the problem.
I did.
Owning your own quirk, and for us, laughing about them.
No, just telling you. Just you.
Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.
Love and chicken cream.